let's start our diagram with rectangle tool. So we can drag and drop a rectangle to our drawing surface. If I want to change the text, I just start typing, so, and press OK. I can also choose properties and change, for example, the color. And of course, I can also change other things like fonts and so on. Now, let's add another rectangle. So I drag and drop it. And as you can see, that is just basic white rectangle. Once again, I just start typing. So this is our second rectangle. And now I can draw something between them. And for that purpose, we have here a line tool. So I choose line tool. And now we have a line between those two shapes. I can double click it and make it a little bit different, a little bit thicker. And here we have. Okay, let's add a few shapes more. Now I'm using this tool. So let's add 1, 2, and 3 more rectangles there. So this is a really quick way to make your diagram easily. Now, let's say that this is the color which we would like to use in the future. So there is a couple of things that I can do. First of all, if I right click, there is use as default style. Now my default style is this color. So if I add a circle, you can see that the color is the same as here. I can also use the color right here. So here is a use default style. So now it's there. And of course, I can choose multiple objects and use that same default style there. There's another way to change default style. On the toolbox, if I right click, I will get defaults. So let's say that the default tile color in this case would be orange, and we could make some other changes. We could say that our default object is rounded rectangle. So now if I use this same tool again, you can see that it's orange, and we can also see that there is rounded corners in those. There is a few common basic styles. For example, if I put there our orange box and choose yellow note, I have a traditional yellow note. This is note, and I can put it right here. One more thing, I can also, just like in objects, choose a line and say that this is actually our default style from this on, 4 lines. And now if I draw more lines, I can see that it's the same. So the color is the same and everything is the same as in that line. Also, I can choose some other default line styles. So if I right click the line, I can see that there is different kind of lines. So let's make a line with a little bit different style. And now when I draw it, we can see the difference right here. There are 2 ways to draw lines. First of all, you can use line tool, but as you can see, there is actually small gray rectangles, and this is a quick way to draw a line. So I just press mouse button down and choose that little rectangle, and I can draw that line more quickly. In favorites menu, we have one more option. As you can see, there is a notes and style. So if I choose it, I have to first save this diagram. And here we have some predefined styles. Let's say that I would like to have text which is a little bit bigger and it's gray. So I choose it. And let's choose that it's going to be our default style. And now when we go back to that previous diagram and I add a text there, we can see that that text is there and the style is a little bit bigger. You can also navigate between these two files with using auto save. Here we have in the menu auto save changes. Now it's on. So now if I go to there to notes and styles, I pick up another style. Let's choose this, use as default style, and go back. In this case, this was auto saved, and we didn't get any dialog where we have to say that we want to save it or not. And once again, we put a little rectangle here. Our font should be a little bit bigger this time, and otherwise there is a little other changes like the alignment is in center. Now we have several objects and lines in our diagram. In docPointer, these lines are always attached to one object. So if I move that object, you can see that these lines also move. So there is no need to draw anything again because of moving one object. So every line moves when you move one object. In lines, you can also have text. So if I choose a line and start typing, you can see that we have some text there in the middle of the line. We can also double click and see that and make some changes like this. Let's remove a few objects and change the default style. So right click, a new tile color, gray, and let's have a rounded rectangle. There's a quick way to create several lines at once. So let's choose these objects. And as you can see, we have here blue rectangles, and I can change the position of these by clicking these objects. So now I choose right click and draw lines from object. And as you can see, we get all these lines at the same time. So that's a quick way to make lines. You can also align objects in several ways. Let's choose these three objects. And as you can see, there is these blue rectangles. So now I can choose Format, Align, Left. And as you can see, it's now aligned. I could also choose these two. So let's say that that's the align, and let's align tops. There are several other things in format menu like make same size and so on. Objects in docPointer can also have links. So if I double click that and let's go to advanced, and let's say that this is Google, and here we have also Google as a text, and now we have this link here, and if I double click it, it will open, in this case, Google Chrome, and we go to Google. There is a little marker for a link, and that marker is these little blue rectangles, which means that we have a link right here. In this tutorial, you learned how to create basic diagrams using docPointer.